Hello and welcome to this presentation where we try and demystify Knowledge Area K1 of the Software Developer Apprenticeship Standard. It's entitled All Stages of the Software Development Lifecycle, or SDLC. So we need to understand what we mean by the Software Development Lifecycle. It's a structured process used for developing software application and involves several stages. Each of those stages with its own inputs, outputs, and activities. Understanding each stage is going to be crucial for creating efficient, reliable, and most importantly, maintainable software. Now, I'm absolutely certain a very good place to start is by breaking down each of those individual stages of the software development lifecycle. Now, this is where very often people go wrong, is missing out step one of planning. They come up with a brilliant idea and then dive straight into it. And of course, I think we all know that planning should be our first step. And inside of this, we can define the project goals, the scopes and constraints. This stage is all about gathering requirements and understanding what the project needs to achieve. Now, as far as inputs are concerned, we're going to be taking a look at the initial idea. Oh, this is a great idea. Then we're looking at the business requirements. So what do we need to make this work for the business and the stakeholder needs? So that's going to include both the business, investors, as well as customers. When we look at the activity, we're going to be taking a look at feasibility studies, resource allocation, risk assessment, estimation of the costs, and scheduling. How long is this going to take? The outputs of this stage should be the project plan, a requirement specification, the risk assessment, budget, and timeline. Next up, we're going to have step 2, which is our requirements analysis, making sure we are crystal clear on everything that needs to be done. And of course, this is another really important area with a purpose of gathering and analysing the requirements from stakeholders to ensure a clear understanding of what the software needs to do. The inputs are going to include stakeholder interviews, surveys, existing system analysis, business rules, and a project plan. The activities will involve requirements gathering, documentation, validation, and prioritization. The outputs are going to be the software requirement specification, use cases, user stories, and acceptance criteria. Moving on to step 3, we're looking at designing our software application. No, we're still not building it, we are designing the application. During our design phase, we can start putting together the idea of our application. The purpose being to define the architecture and the design of the software to meet our specified requirements. Now, taking a look at the inputs, we're going to be looking at the software requirement specification that we created before, our use cases, and our user stories. The activities will comprise of high-level design architecture, detailed design data structure, algorithms and user interface, design reviews and prototyping. The output is going to be your design documents, data models, interface designs, and system architecture prototypes. And now we get to step 4, implementation, where we're now implementing the ideas and putting them down into code. Now, I am well aware that many of you thought that this was going to be step 1, but our implementation and coding is step 4. Its purpose is to convert the design into working a software application by writing our code. The inputs are going to be our design documents, our coding standards, and of course our coding tools like IDEs. The activities are going to be, of course, writing our code, unit testing, debugging, and implementing version control. The output, of course, is going to be our glorious source code, unit test files, and version control logs. Now, I am sure that there are many of you that thought you could now release your software onto the great public mass. But no, we have to implement our testing. So the purpose of this is to verify that the software works as intended and meets all of the software requirements. The inputs are going to be our source code, our test plan, and test cases. The activities are going to be unit testing, integration testing, system testing, and user acceptance or UAT testing, as well as, of course, bug fixing. The outputs are going to be our test results, bug reports, and, of course, a fully tested and validated digital product. And look at this, it is software release day. You are about to deploy your newborn piece of code. Congratulations! So this is the big day. The software is being released. And of course, the purpose is to release the software to the end users or into the production environment. The input is going to be your fully tested software, the deployment plan, and user documentation. The activity will be installing the software perhaps, configuration, user training, data migration, deployment, and verification. The output is going to be the deployed software. Hooray! Installation guides, user manuals, and operational software, and hopefully happy users. And our last stage that we'll take a look at is the maintenance phase, where we're into support, maintenance, and ongoing planning of our application. Now, I think different developers look at things slightly differently. Some people are happy they've created software, but now want to move on to the next exciting project. But often it doesn't end there, does it? We're now into the maintenance phase, with the purpose being to provide ongoing support, fixing issues, and implementing new features or updates. The inputs are going to be the deployed software itself, user feedback, and issue reports, faults perhaps that people are finding. The activities are going to be bug fixing, software updates, performance optimization, feature enhancement, and technical support. The outputs are going to be the updated software, bug fix reports, and updated documentation. And now you understand your software development lifecycle, the planning, design, requirements, coding, testing, deployment, and finally maintaining the software.
All that is left to say is thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this, then you are probably sadder than I first thought. For more of this drivel, please subscribe, like and comment to @TheUrbanPenguin.